now you're here.
Yeah.
So
Excited, very excited. We've already got some big guests on tap.
Eagles podcast presented by Bet365 and Wawa. We are live on Radio Row in San Francisco in the chaos. Wulf, EJ Smith, and the great Brandon Graham joins us. And Brandon Graham is sitting in the big chair on a big day for us. Big brothers, big sisters. You'll see the donate button on the YouTube there. Raising money for the good folks at Big Brothers, Big Sisters, so do your part for us. BG, welcome to Radio Row. How are you?
Oh, man, I'm doing good, man. You know, trying to see what this all about, because we ain't used to this over
It's a
here.
circus,
welcome
isn't
to
it?
the other side,
Right,
BG.
the other side. It's like, y'all do this?
You like to talk about the controlled chaos on the football field. I'm not so sure this is controlled. This is just chaos.
It's just chaos. It's controlled over here, though. It's kind of quiet over here.
Yeah,
you're right.
we
In a
bring a
good
good
way.
energy, you know, and I
Yeah.
have to say, like, seeing BG on Radio Row has been a very unique experience. Like, you know, a guy walks by in a walking boot, BG's like, how much longer you got? You know? you have not become jaded by Radio Row in a way that I can really appreciate.
Oh yeah, man. You gotta be where your feet are, like Coach used to say all the time. And yeah, man, I'm just excited to be here, even if it's brief or whatever it is. It's like getting the experience, because this gonna be something that I try to do, hopefully every year, but hopefully the Eagles in there most years.
All right, so we got a lot to come on this episode. We're going to hear from Nate Tice and Ben Solak separately with their thoughts on maybe what is to come for Jalen Hurts and a new look offense. We've got an episode of BG Unblocked coming up either later this week or next
Star-studded.
week. Chris Long and Bo Allen joined us. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
On the
That was cool.
8th anniversary of that first Super Bowl, BG. So happy
Hey.
anniversary to you.
I appreciate you. 8 years, crazy, man. And you know, hopefully we can make another run at it.
Yes. All right. So let's start here with the Parx Preview presented by Bet Parx, and I think what we want to talk about here, EJ, in the this mystery, what's the offense going to look like, is BG. Like what's your understanding of Jalen's acceptance and embracing of once again having a new offense to learn?
I know he's going to adjust to whatever the team did. Like, you know, the team hired Mannion, and I'm excited for that. Like, I can't wait to see. I'm sure he's excited same way, because it's all you can do is control what you can, and all he can do is control who's brought in, make sure he's all in for whatever they selling, and I'm sure with the reviews I've gotten from about his new offensive coordinator, that it's another guy that, you know, a great one coming in. Can't wait to see how his work relationship kind of happens over the journey of these 6 months. And yeah, man, I'm hoping that they have a great product later on, like in September when it's time, you know, to go out there and show what should have been showed this year.
Now, I want to bring our viewers a little bit behind the curtain here. As somebody who is always trying to extract information from the locker room, I consider BG one of the foremost Jalen Hurts whisperers in that locker room.
Yeah.
If you need to know what Jalen's mindset is on something, where Jalen's at with something, you are one of the first lockers I'll stop at. So I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, where do you think Jalen's, where do you think his mindset is after the way that the season ended?
Well, you got to take a break from all the chaos that was going on this year, get a refocus. Then you come back. Then you write it down, new goals for this year. Probably embracing whatever comes, and it couldn't have been as bad as it was this year. So I know that whoever they bring in, that was the biggest decision for this offseason. So now that the decision is in, I know he's probably just like, all right, now it's time to kick it into gear. Now it's time to get on that phone call, talk with him, see exactly what his plan is, what he envisions. And then you got to get through the draft too, because you never know. Team's always looking for best available at a time.
Yeah, that's
could
true.
be a quarterback, could be
That was him once
linebacker,
upon a time.
could be so many
absolutely.
different positions, but you just don't know where everything draws from. But I'm sure he's not worried about that, because the contract tells it all with that. I mean, he's not going anywhere. But I know that it's going to be something that he's already flipped the switch.
Well, I was watching the clips from the Pro Bowl game last night, game unquote, and I gotta say, this is kind of hokey. But I love watching Jalen play with a smile on his face, which we don't usually get to see, and like seeing him have a good time on the football field. He's got such a magnetic smile, right? And I feel like we saw that more in 2022, and then he's talked about that loss sort of changed him a little bit. But I don't know, I would like to see him play with a little bit more joy. Is that fair?
I mean, you know what? I've learned to accept people for who they are, and when they do give you something that's abnormal sometimes, not as normal, what you see, you know, I can appreciate it more because he's just a guy that everybody don't get to see that part.
You have a much better sense of him than we do. Yeah.
I do know he's trying to be more, like you said, like because he knows that his words hold weight and that a smile can go a long way. And of course, man, if you got a beautiful smile, man, put that thing out there. You know, you see me every day.
I feel like a creepy guy talking to like a teenage girl, like, why don't you smile more? Like,
that is funny though, because really, when you tell somebody to do something, they do the total opposite.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start saying,
I don't think me telling
stay
Jalen
frowning,
to smile is
Jay.
gonna
Stay
move the
frowning,
needle.
being you.
Yeah.
Hey, be you. And then eventually you get on the smile a little more.
Yeah, but you and I have talked before about that there has been growth in that area.
Oh
for
yeah.
him.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, trying to be more outward. I guess what stands out about that from him this season?
Because you know what, when you in the number one, when you in the prime spot of where he is, as the quarterback, you know, the number one person that get paid the most, the one that everybody's looking to in those pressure situations, what he's going to do, it's going to have to drive the game-winning drive to win the game. You putting he the one who touched the ball the most, and so he knows that. He knows coming in that everybody, you know, this is what they want. Like what he say after that Pittsburgh game, that's what y'all want to see.
Yeah, that's what y'all wanted to see, huh?
He kind of like feeling like that with, all right, this is what y'all want. All right, I'm gonna try to meet y'all halfway, and I like that because I feel like even with him, he probably feel a little good doing it too sometimes because, man, it's always good. It's always sometimes hard to stay. It's always hard to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I know that, you know, it was just a challenge this year for him to stay true to who he was even through this chaos. But now I see that, you know, with a new coordinator, you probably see him probably smiling a little more. Because from what I hear, you know, he works well with a lot of the guys that he's been coaching with. But, you know, he still got to come in and get everybody to believe in what he's selling. So can't wait to see how all that transpire, even with AJ, because I think he probably still going to be back. I think he's going to be back. I think they just want to get everybody excited for what's to come, and I'm hoping that this will get them excited.
Well, that's counter to some of the reporting we've heard so far that people expect AJ to be gone. So I think it's good to hear a counterpoint.
Yeah, you know, it's like, of course, like how we say this all the time. Some of those little snippets you hear. I don't like trading away good players.
Yeah.
And you would hate for them to go somewhere else and go ball when it's like, dang, why we couldn't figure it out, or why we couldn't hold on to him a little longer. He would have been perfect in this. You know what I'm saying?
But he did once say that Carson Wentz was like a finger on his hand, and then traded him a month later. So.
Oh yeah, I know.
Nature of the business.
Right.
Yeah.
That does happen.
Hey,
All right, that'll
you're
close
right
the
though.
book.
You're right about that. So I say it's a 60-40
Yeah.
that he stays.
All right, that'll close the book on the Parx Preview presented by BetParx. Thank you to the good folks at BetParx. I don't know, what else do you think is going on here? It's kind of fun, right?
You know what? What's going on? What I've heard already is how was the parties, man? The parties. I heard.
I told you about this party last night. It was a dud.
Yeah.
It was a dud. And I have another complaint.
Yeah.
Roger Goodell, where's my camera? Roger Goodell, here's what happened. They sent a thing for the media party, which usually is a nice party.
Yep.
Last night's was a dud, that's fine. But they say there's going to be shuttles at 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock, 7:30, and 8 o'clock. And we get there, me, EJ, Lindsay, and Ben, we get there for the 8 o'clock shuttle.
Fashionably late.
Right?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't want to be the first one at the party. We're not losers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to make that impression like, ooh,
You want
that.
to make an entrance. Yeah, we get there. We get
Jay-Z
there at
up
about
in that thing.
7:45 for the 8 o'clock shuttle. No buses to be seen. And the guy says, yeah, sorry, like we filled up all the shuttles. There is no 8 o'clock shuttle. I'm sorry. I was told there would be an 8 o'clock shuttle. There was no fine print that said 8 o'clock shuttle unless all the shuttles fill up. So Roger Goodell, get your stuff together.
Get off your wallet, right?
Get another shuttle, Roger.
Yeah.
What is up with that?
Because I was drinking. and I need that shuttle.
Now, you'll get into some different parties than we will, BG.
I'm sending Roger
well,
Goodell a
well,
bill
you know
for
what?
$45 that I had to pay for the Uber, and he better pay it.
I'm hearing about that New Heights party. We're gonna see.
Yeah, that's an exclusive guest list right
Oh,
there.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. I could probably see that. They probably beating the door down to try to get in.
Yeah, you let us.
yeah.
You give us the tickets. We'll, see if
I
we
got
can
you.
get in.
Then I'll let y'all go tell me how that was compared to the one last
Well,
night.
it can't be worse.
Yeah, that'd be
than
the
the
best.
prize last
How was
night.
the food at least?
Not good.
Oh man, dang, what a drink.
EJ, we do have
Drinks gonna be the
some
drinks.
Eagles news that we should get to here.
We do, yeah. So the Eagles, this is all reported, have started interviewing quarterbacks coaches. Obviously, we've talked a lot about whether or not Scott Loeffler would be back as the Eagles quarterback coach next season with Sean Mannion filling out his staff. Seems like that's not going to be the case, but
Yeah.
again, the indication is that that's still up in the air. So according to Ari Myrov, Connor Senger is one of the names being interviewed. He was a pass game specialist for the Arizona Cardinals last year. And then Greg Olson, not the Greg Olson you guys are thinking, a longtime quarterbacks coach in the NFL, Greg Olson.
Also
is-
with an O, slicked back hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's at least
He's been doing the job
it's an
for a long
intriguing
time,
profile.
yeah.
This one's according to Mike Garafolo. He is a name to watch for the Eagles quarterbacks coach job. So again, probably not a good sign for Scott Loeffler returning. But yeah, the Eagles. I think we both have talked about it. With this system that Sean Mannion's bringing, I do think having the right quarterbacks coach with an experience in that job is really important.
And
for that.
Olsen had coached Sean Mannion
Yeah,
before.
so he's coached Sean Mannion. He has experience coaching under McVay. So Greg Olson, not the Greg Olson from TV, has a lot of experience in these systems.
But it's funny, we talk so much about how many different offensive coordinators Jalen has had.
Quarterbacks
He
coaches,
is
too.
he's a new position coach every year
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Never
I mean,
stops.
really can't settle in and get nobody. I mean, the only way it happens is tough because as soon as you get a coordinator, now he go get a head coaching job because everybody want an offensive mind, like with a that's a coordinator, like that's a coordinator that can be the offensive coordinator as a head coach. Like Ben Johnson gonna be there a while.
Yeah.
Like so.
Yeah.
Like Chicago gonna have that. Then you got all these other coaches. I'm trying to think who is another offensive mind that's like. Even LaFleur.
Yeah,
like,
right.
you know,
Andy. I mean, Andy's the original one, right?
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I mean,
Like,
even Kellen Moore comes in.
that's why you get them to be there like 15 years
Yep.
because, you have success because, of course, you got to draft well, but you got these coordinators. I mean, everybody want an offensive mind as a head coach, so it's kind of tough. And then, like I say, like it's mostly quarterbacks that former quarterbacks that knew how to talk with some of the quarterbacks, even if they wasn't the starter. They knew how to coach them to show them what they see and the perspective. And you just learn how to be a coach in that. You learn like what calls are great. While some of the coordinators you get to be a part of, like Kellen was a good one.
Yeah.
Coming in, I'm sure. What's his name? Some of the quarterbacks, backup quarterbacks for us.
Josh McCown.
McCown.
Yeah,
Like
Gardner
another
Minshew.
one
Yeah.
that was able to mentor some of these guys that got much respect. That been in everything. That knows the pressure. So yeah, man, it's tough because it ain't a lot of Mike Tomlins getting hired.
Sure.
Defensive mind quarterbacks. I mean, Minter got hired, but then soon if you don't get a good coordinator, that's when you lose your job.
Yep.
If you don't keep good coordinators, man, that's how you lose them
it's
jobs
tough.
for real. So I just say like we just need man, I will hope for Sirianni that he's just picking the brains from some of these coordinators now, and then when those coordinators leave, like he can build up enough trust again to where he can be able to be that play caller that the Eagles know he can will want him to be, so that we won't have to keep interchanging with head coaches.
Whenever I talk to players about their position coaches, trust is always the operative word.
Yeah.
Is there a position coach that you've been under that you would say really was able to earn your trust like quickly in the span of a few months there?
Yeah, you know what? I would say who was mine? I mean, Wash, when I look back on it, like Washburn, the big Wash.
Wash
Jim
Senior.
Wash?
Yeah, Wash Senior.
Not little Wash.
Not saying that, even though we had all the stuff we went through as a young guy, when I look back on it, it was good to have that discipline, that veteran that knew, because I knew he knew what he was doing. Of course, it wasn't easy, but it was just more so of how he coached it and how hard he coached it. And I had to get out my feelings because I'm a young guy and I'm getting, all this. I'm a first-round pick. It ain't my fault that I got picked by Howie, but he always tried to make it seem like it was my fault. Like I can't get touched because all the first-rounders. So that's why I kind of like I felt like it didn't go as well. But when I look back on it, he was somebody that really was a technician that got my technique right. I learned how to even work just even in the year of how hard we need to go, running to the ball. Even when you get to the season, you got to make sure you keep that stuff because you can lose it real fast on what you worked so hard for during the offseason.
There we go. All right. Good stuff, BG.
Yeah.
We're going to take a little break now. On the other side, we're going to be joined by Nate Tice, who's going to break down his thoughts on Jalen and what maybe a Sean Mannion offense will look like for him. Stay tuned. Much more to come here on the PHLY Eagles podcast, live from Radio Row. Whether your favorite team wins or not, there is always another way to win on the Parx online casino app. Check out brand new casino games like Huff and More Puff and Fireblaze Sky Queen, which is a Parx exclusive. It's the only app I ever use to play all my favorite casino games right in the palm of this hand. Play blackjack, roulette, craps, poker, baccarat, and hot online slots like Cash Eruption, 88 Fortunes, and Cleopatra online slots. You can play hot online slots based on your favorite streaming shows like The Walking Dead, Peaky Blinders, Squid Game, and Breaking Bad. New users now get up to $1,000 in casino dollars bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. So go to betparx.com and download the app right now and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. Must be 21 and in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for Parx. You love to play, you play to win, you bet. Parx. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, it's time now to talk about our favorite sponsor. That's right, our friends at Bucci. Joe and Michelle, the only place you need to go in the Philadelphia area, and they can satisfy whatever your jewelry and design needs are, because we've all been there. You walk into a jewelry store, you want to pick out something nice. We all know Valentine's Day is coming up. You want to do something sweet. You get there, but you don't know what to do necessarily. You know, what's the difference between all these diamonds? What if they don't like it? How do I go about this whole process? Well, I'll tell you how you go about it. You go to Joe and Michelle, because they are game changers. From the moment you walk in, they treat you like your family. No pressure, no pushy sales, just people, experts who actually listen. And right now is the time to do it because gold prices are over $5,000 an ounce. Get in the game. 30-plus years in the game. Philly's #1 jeweler with over 1,000 5-star reviews. Visit Bucci's Jewelry and Design at Bucci'sJewelers.com and tell them PHLY sent you. All right, we are here on Radio Row, joined by our friend Nate Tice of Yahoo. Jalen Hurts is #1 fan.
So what do you have to put
We're talking Jalen Hurts on the episode today. Okay. And let's start with this. If you could, you're Sean Mannion. You want to add one thing to Jalen Hurts' game this offseason heading into next year, what would it be?
It's just more comfort. Again, this is such a talking point, so I don't want to devolve the conversation.
We are nuanced here.
Yes,
no one's clipping this.
I'll say over the middle, between the numbers, but I think that makes sense more in just like in the drop back game. It doesn't have to be play action. It doesn't have to be under center. Hurts is going to be a guy that's more comfortable from the gun. He's just one of these guys that's going to have to play that way. But there's a way to blend the offense outside of just using play action, which is the staple answer, of throwing. I mean, we've seen Hurts throw a couple balls over the middle. I remember specifically AJ Brown touchdown against the Vikings. Where he had an inbreaker there. He had another AJ Brown throw. I want to.
Chargers is the one.
Yes, I was thinking LA.
I thought that was Devontae. That one like third and long.
Over the middle of Devontae. Yes, and it's there. It's there. You have to eke it out. It's not going to be the strength of his game. It's not. I always liken a throwing over the middle like being a three-point shooter in basketball. If you don't do it, it's going to make everything else tighter. You have to drive to the rack. It's going to make it condensed in the paint. Same for a quarterback. You have to always throw outside. You have to win those one-on-ones. If you have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, it helps, but sometimes that can lack consistency, which we see. The Eagles' offense lives and dies by explosives.
Yep.
Explosives, how they get them are go balls. They need guys. A.J. Brown and Devontae are both good yak guys. A.J. Brown, when he was with the Titans, that's all he was winning was these inbreakers. So it doesn't have to be every down, throw it there. It's just eke out those 2 to 3 because it would just open up so much more. And I know this is a big talking point, but Sean Mannion and what his offenses have been, even when he was a player in college at Oregon State, that's what this attacks. It's inbreakers. So it doesn't have to be a machine at it. He doesn't have to be Stafford. But he just has to do it enough to kind of just make it open up for everything.
One thing we've heard a lot about Sean Mannion influence, like the offenses that he's been a part of, is the footwork and how important that is for quarterbacks. What do you see from Jalen in that regard? And I guess how much of a projection is that going to be for him?
That's exactly what needs to tighten down, because throwing in the middle is just one way to kind of, it's just one little thing, but it's all the process before that. That's what opens it up. Why throwing in the middle is more important is that usually shows anticipation. That shows that your timing is good because it's so tight. If you're wrong, guys are getting sawed off. Remember week 2, when the Eagles played the Cowboys and Jake Ferguson caught the touchdown and got lit the F up. Yeah. That is throwing over the middle though in the NFL, but guess what? Touchdown. Or a big play, or a PI, or something of that sort. They lead to those explosives. So it's just with the footwork stuff, Jalen kind of has his own timing. Everybody can have their own timing. It doesn't have to look like Jared Goff. It doesn't even have to look like Dak, who has really good footwork and stuff. He has to make the timing his own. Russell Wilson is the guy that made the timing his own. He would bounce instead of kind of do a traditional drop back. And when you make the timing your own, then you can anticipate, throw something over the middle into space, as opposed to, I see the guy open, now I throw. That's when people say NFL windows, that's what they're talking about. You have to throw before they break. And so just eking out that comfort level with him, the footwork gets tied to that, because tighten that up, then the ball comes out earlier, and then more good things happen.
There is also a part of it where throwing over the middle is a little bit riskier.
Yes.
And it feels like it has been beaten into him so much to avoid turnovers. There has to be a conversation of, interceptions are not the worst thing in the world, because it's going to open up these other things that you can do. And if the defense respects that you're willing to throw it over the middle of the field, guess what? All of a sudden those balls on the outside are open as well, right?
You see every home run hitter that has 40 home runs, 50 home runs, how many strikeouts do they have? A lot. Dozens and dozens, because you're not going to be able to jack one over the fences unless you're waiting on the pitch, and sometimes you miss. And sometimes that happens. And I think, just look at the Seahawks. Seahawks have a high turnover rate. All these teams in the playoffs have high turnover rates. They have defense that help mitigate that, and so it doesn't make it as catastrophic. So you need more of a complete teamness to do that, which I think the Eagles are set up pretty well to have next year, at the very least next year, I'll say. But I do think that you have to have a willingness. No risk it, no biscuit. No, whatever you want to say, however, that's the name of the game, is how you generate explosives. And the Eagles have had to do that, but the efficiency just dropped off a cliff, run game-wise more than anything. RPOs, QB run game as well. So then it became so reliant on these explosives, and it's not an efficient passing game. So it's just, you have to be willing to have the turnovers if you're trying to generate explosives. It's just it.
Where did the Eagles rank? Where did the Eagles offense rank in terms of teams you enjoyed most or least watching last year?
Offensively? Bottom 5. It's static. There's not a lot of creativity. You have Grant Calcaterra making key blocks, one of the worst blocking tight ends. The jumbo stuff was nice. It's not my favorite. It's a lot of staple concepts, but not with a lot of window dressing. So there's stuff that's sound to me, but there's just not that kind of tweak. That's what the NFL is. Everyone has the same plays. It's just how you tweak them, how you reinvent them. Everyone has the same menu you're working off of, or same ingredients, I should say. And it's just how you put them together. So it's never really been my fun, especially now that the run game fell off. Because that was, even if the passing game wasn't there, Chef Stoutland was putting together great stuff. The O-line was burying people. That was something that I liked with it, but it was not my favorite offense. The defense, though, awesome. Defense great. 5, right? Yes, exactly. So sound, and so all the staple concepts done to perfection. So that's what's awesome.
So if we flip it, what does Jalen do better than most quarterbacks?
Beautiful deep balls. His go balls, he's a true excellent deep ball thrower. Truly excellent on outbreakers. How many Dallas Goddard outbreakers that we have seen the last couple of years? Those throws, because it's thrown to space, throwing where he doesn't. You see guys even watch a high school quarterback. They're comfortable throwing outside, because it's just that's the routes they have the most time on task with. So those when he wants to run and he's running with a purpose, he's still a plus runner. It's just that he's kind of eked that out of his game, which is that's where a lot of your value lies. I know the QB sneak stuff, the tush-push stuff is just ad nauseum. How many breakdowns do we need about it? But it's his scrambling, he's still a good scrambler. He's still good on design runs. It's just that now he's kind of there's a little hesitancy there. But when I think last year's Super Bowl, he had a scramble, I want to say in the second half, right up the middle on a third down. Chiefs brought a blitz, or a mirror, and he just scrambled right up the middle. And I was he did it decisively. And there's a classic coaching adage that said, if you make a mistake, make it fast. Yeah. That's what he needs to do again. We're talking about the turnover, willing to do it, but also scrambling. Screw it, I'm one and done quarterback. All right, I'm done. Run, because that's the value that he brings.
Yeah. Let me just give Nate his flowers for a second here. I feel like there's this Jalen Hurts roller coaster, And I feel like you have been here the whole time.
Trying.
You don't ride the roller coaster like other people. You know, it's become maybe a contentious conversation, but I feel like you have been kind of like the level for a lot of this.
I'm trying. It's not like, and people want you to say, "Oh, he's the worst thing ever. He's the best thing ever." And I think it freaks people out when it's like talking about someone in the middle. And what I consider him as a tier 3 guy, which is a guy that maybe has 1 or 2 flaws, has strengths, but needs help. Like obviously needs help, needs a run game, needs a defense, yada yada. You can win with that. They just freaking did, you know. So that's why it's even of a guy that's always just been kind of like lukewarm on Hurts. It's like now I'm going back. It's like he has his qualities too, guys. Like it's kind of funny. Like you got but he's a guy that needs stuff shaped for him. I think the highest compliment I can have for any player is they're scheme proof. You run anything with them, they do it well. Hurts needs specific schemes tailored for him. So, but I do think it's a guy that's like you can win with this if they just do it right. It's just going to take a lot of trust, and I think. Rebuilding trust, it seems like, from an outsider's perspective. Because
do you have any Sean Mannion insight from just through the grapevine?
I just know probably what being a Rams backup guy with a McVay ties. His college experience, he was with Mike Riley, who ran the same offense I ran at Wisconsin.
Okay.
So it's very traditional. It's stuff I like. There's Kellen Moore ties to that, so it's going to be more Kellen Moore-ish. As far as a run game, they do more under center. They prefer to, but it's not tied to it. So it's a very. I shied away using the word traditional, but it's not like a true Shanahan or a Kubiak or something like that. There's a lot more Air Coryell concepts, a lot more Norv Turner, which is kind of Steichen. That kind of worked out pretty well because that's what Mike Riley and Paul Chris were. They're Norv Turner guys, kind of like what they use. So downfield, they use play action, but a lot more deeper dropbacks, which I think can work for Hurts because it's not going to be timing based. You kind of give him some room for error. So I think that may be the best way to put it. It's just a lot more downfield play passes.
That might have been the most encouraging description of like what Sean Mannion's bringing to Philadelphia, because we've talked a lot about like the McVay-Shanahan influence, and that's a big projection.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there actually are elements that Jalen will be more familiar with.
Yeah, I think you're trying to. Everybody wants, what does everyone say? Oh, we want a Shanahan guy because we want under center play action, we want motion, and it's like, some guys aren't good with that. Joe Burrow doesn't do motion or under center play action. They're like, he doesn't. And every Bengals fan is like mad at Zach Taylor about it. I'm like, your quarterback doesn't like it. Like, that's why you don't do it. Same with Jalen. Like, Jalen, under center play action, he doesn't like turning his back. It's hard to do that. Like, it's hard to turn your back and look up and find stuff. Because when he does do it, knows where he throws it. It's outside. Because I don't have to worry about what's going on over here. I would throw it outside. So don't do it. Like, I think his game, passing-wise, would actually match what Baker Mayfield does well. A lot more gun, a lot more stuff that's downfield. Let him work one side, high-low that side, and figure out from there. And that's in Mannion's kind of – he doesn't have a lot of experience. So I'm not going to say Mannion's going to blow us all away, but he has good kind of – a resume that's encouraging as far as like who he's been learning from and kind of where the NFL kind of meta is right now. It's kind of like that's who I want to pluck from is Packers, Rams, Mike Riley, and Paul Chris, which is more of a personal bias. But that stuff is where the league is right now. It's downhill run game and downfield passing game.
All right. The great Nate Tice. Any complaints, send to Ben Solak on social media.
Or
otherwise,
Shilkapadia. One of those two. Yeah, one of those two.
Compliments, send to Nate. All right. We're back on the PHLY Eagles podcast, presented by Bet365 and Wawa. A reminder, our big day of giving for big brothers, big sisters. If you're watching on YouTube, you will see that button. Do your part to help us out. We really appreciate it. Have been seeing some of the littles around here. They got to ask some questions. It's a lot of fun.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Really cool. Hopefully they'll get to talk to you too, BG. Let's get to What's Brewing, presented by our friends at Wawa. No. The Big Deal, presented by our friends at Wawa. We love Wawa so much, they get multiple segments.
Yeah,
The Big
they
Deal.
deserve it, yeah.
The Big Deal. Let's tell BG about your spill yesterday, see what his take is on this.
Oh, yeah, sorry, BG. We're on an escalator.
Okay.
I got coffee in my hand. We went down to get the coffee. I'm a lefty, holding it in my left hand. This lady is rushing up the escalator, and she bumps into me and Bo. No excuse me. I spilled coffee all over my shirt.
His
because
white
of her.
tee.
A white tee.
Wow.
What
And
are you
she
doing
just
in that
kept on
situation?
going.
She didn't say anything.
Well, where you have to go?
I had to come
He's
here.
coming here.
Oh, you had to come here.
I had
so
to go
you
back to the
He
hotel
went
to
back
change.
to the hotel.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the lady still don't know that you had to go back and do all that.
I mean, hopefully she watches the show, so
she
she
didn't
knows.
say nothing.
Yeah.
You know what? It's all good. Like how I look at it, like you was the bigger person.
Oh, absolutely.
And,
yeah.
You know, you just never know what somebody would have went through if you would have barked back at her.
Yeah.
And she would have went crazy on you.
I appreciate that, BG. I may or may not have called her an enemy of the podcast yesterday, but
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying I was the bigger person.
I know
Enemy
you was,
number
bro.
one
You was,
in San
though.
Francisco.
Because I know it wasn't easy, man.
Yo,
'Cause
no, it wasn't.
It's like a white tee too, and you was probably feeling good.
Yeah.
And then she just go be rude, and then she had to be rude.
So I had to walk back to the hotel, and I came here. And while I'm doing all that walking, I'm like, I need to get in touch with a positive energy giver. So I call my sister.
Yeah.
Who is the person that you would call in that scenario? Like you're mad about something, and you're like, I just need to get right. Need someone to set me back on track.
Well, you know what? I needed raw at that time because most of the time I'm usually the light. So if I had to say, my wife gonna give me that rawness of it.
Okay.
Like, boy, get your act together. Come on. Like it's just this or just some coffee.
Be like, you go into Radio Row, like you don't got nothing to complain about.
Like, trust me, it's gonna be people out there that's gonna have way worse stuff on than what you got on.
Okay.
Yeah, now, how many people use you as the person that they call
say,
for
BG's probably
speaking some
You know what?
life into them?
I am an energy giver, but I try to get replenished by making sure I'm doing stuff for me too, because you always thinking of others all the time. Like I try to live on myself a lot more too, because it is tough when you always give and you don't always put back. So man, my getaway is doing stuff I like to do and saying no to people without no explanation sometimes.
I think I know one of the people you're going to say, but who, aside from you, on the Eagles team right now is that energy giver?
You know what? Jordan Davis is jumping into that.
That's who I figured you were going to say.
Jordan Davis is jumping into that, and he embracing it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you see that. It's like I see the real connectivity of kind of a passing the positivity torch from you to Jordan Davis.
Yeah, and I feel like it just come natural. And I don't want you to do nothing.
Yeah.
I wanted to do it your way. Do it the way you do it. As long as you learn it in that, because it's never going to be perfect on whoever everybody expectations is. Oh man, I expect you to be like how BG was. No, I expect you to be what Jordan Davis is, that you can keep up, that you can do just naturally because that's just who you are. And so that's who he is, and it's just great to see he gonna do it in a great way, his way.
It's funny you guys mentioned this because I asked Jordan Davis about this during the season. You guys can read about it on allphly.com. You can become a diehard. I think we have a diehard
We got
sale.
it's a good point, EJ. I'm so glad you brought that up. We got a great Super Bowl sale going on right now to become a diehard. Check that out. One of the best deals you'll ever get.
So Jordan Davis, I don't know if you know this, but Jordan Davis said that his first year in the NFL, he was really unsure about how his personality would mesh in a locker room, and he credited you as like the person that you were the example for him. He walked into an NFL locker room for the first time. He saw you, your presence, the way that you went about, being an energy giver, and it gave him like a safe space. He said he found himself in an NFL locker room through the way that you were. So I don't know if he's ever talked to you about that, but I guess what does that mean to you?
Well, you know what? That means a lot, man. I mean, because a lot of these guys, they know you a little bit because of some of the history, but they don't know you until they actually play with you and see the day to day. And so for me to hear that, man, I'm thankful because like Jordan Davis, man, he's been great, since he's been here. And it's tough because I hated to see him feel, the way he was feeling these past couple of years, but it has molded him in a way where now you can see his character a little more, how he handled that adversity at that time, and now you see how he balled out this year. And I mean, now he's out his shell. He's like how I was.
Yeah.
I was kind of in my shell a little bit, hearing that bus label, hearing people talk about me, and you don't always like it in the light that they was trying to talk about me, but how you really do something about it is what you do on a daily, even during the chaos. And I felt like he just fought back by making sure he came in shape, making sure that he wasn't gonna let nobody disrupt his or steal his joy, because he know how hard he worked this offseason, and he worked hard during the season, and it started showing up for him. And man, he just stayed consistent, and that's one thing I can give him, man. He stayed consistent. And I'm thankful to hear that story right there.
Yeah. That'll do it for the big deal presented by Wawa. Good insight there, BG. Now, you gave us the breakdown, 60-40 AJ stays. I'm going to ask you about 4 guys on defense who are all going to be free agents, 4 starters. I want you to give your guess on the percentage that these guys stay. All right? So we'll start with Jalen Phillips.
That they come back?
That they come back.
I say 50.
50. Okay. How about Nakobe Dean?
That's more of a 30%.
I feel like that too. I mean, I think they would love to have him back, but he's going to have a big market.
Yep.
Reed Blankenship.
Reed, I'll actually go. I'm gonna go 80.
80.
Yeah,
Good for
because I think that he's not commanding crazy money.
Right.
But I think he'll get some good because Eagles, unless they feel like they got something in the draft.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing is that I would be surprised if they want to go rookie, second-year guy with a rookie and Andrew.
You got Makuba.
Right,
Yeah.
but that's what I mean. If you're going to
You
start
want the veteran.
a second-year guy
Yeah.
and a rookie, you're probably not going to do that. So you're probably going to have to pay someone anyway. And so if you're going to pay someone, you might as well
go with
make
somebody
it be Reed.
that's thrived in this defense.
Yeah, and I just have heard from so many of these guys how important Reed is to directing traffic back there. Like he is an important member back there.
I mean, like the exciting white.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are we going to
break
do
'em
with the All-City podcast?
I know you broke up the Wawa guys and Avante and
Dallas,
Goddard. You can't do that. This junk just
No more
popped off.
breakups. Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Exactly.
Last one is Adoree Jackson.
You know what? Adoree got better as the year went on.
He sure did.
He definitely got better as the year went on for himself. I would say that would probably be my lowest 20.
Okay. I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's probably about
There's
right.
probably
Would
a
you have
lot
said
of
the same
corners
thing,
in this.
EJ?
Yeah, I'm with BG on most of these. I mean, maybe Adoree I'd get to like 25.
Okay.
Is there a world where he's the fourth or the fifth corner and you
Yeah.
feel better about your depth because he comes back for a year?
Because
That's the argument. Yeah.
Because you wanted Slay to come back.
I'm a little
this year.
selfish because Adoree is a great guy to talk to in the locker room, so I'm going to advocate for him to stick around.
And he cool, man. And we out here in his
He's got a
his
good
side.
personality.
I know, we're on his side.
California.
Where would you have gone on Jalen Phillips?
So where were you at? You were 50?
He said 50-50.
Yeah, I'd say 50 as well. I think the
If
injury
you had
history,
to go 51-49 in one direction, which one would it be?
I think I'd go 51 comes back.
51 because they traded for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what gave me the 50.
there is a chance that his injury history affects his market and that the Eagles will be able to bring him back on maybe a short-term deal like a prove-it deal. So,
Right.
Yeah,
I
there's a
think that's
chance.
possible.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go to break, we are going to bring you an interview from yesterday with Ben Solak, continuing the conversation on what do you got?
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Is it weird for you to have both of your work wives, your co-hosts here, like all in one space? Like,
no, I'll tell you what is weird for me. What is weird for me is being on the left of you guys. Usually with both of you, I'm on your right.
You're on this side.
And I'm used to looking this way.
Okay.
Now for both of you, I'm looking this way. That feels weird to me.
Well, I hope you don't get a crook in your neck.
I know. But I'm enjoying having my wives together. Yeah. This is great. I feel we're not too far from you. You had a layover in Utah. I feel like I'm leaning into the the polygamy here. I think why not?
Jump crazy.
All right, let's hear what Ben Solak has to say about Jalen Hurts and his future with Sean Mannion. All right, we are here with an old friend. Please introduce yourself, sir. What's your name?
Ben Solak.
Sounds familiar. From what? Outlet?
Yeah, ESPN, I think. ESPN,
nice.
yeah, that's the orders here.
That's great.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm well, man. It's Super Bowl week. Like, I don't know. You feel like a kid in a candy store all over again. It's exciting.
It's very exciting. It's exciting to see you. EJ, you booked this interview, so you want to lead this bad boy off?
I mean, well, no, I just want to say how much of a fan I am of Ben's work. I feel like we're not selling Ben enough right now.
I think our audience knows Ben
Solak. I did not
Solak.
walk into a Bo Wulf interview thinking Ben Solak was going to be sold and supported, all right? That was not an expectation I had coming in.
Very excited to have you. I want to talk about Jalen Hurts with you.
Okay.
As someone.
The Eagles quarterback, just so you know.
Anyways, 2 or 1?
Depends on the year.
who you ask, yeah. What was your general takeaway watching the Eagles this season? Obviously, you are invested in this team. You care about what the offense looks like, how they perform. What would you say the experience was like for you this year?
About as frustrating as I think it was for everybody else. Then there's the additional layer of you also, I do the national coverage for ESPN, and the Jalen Hurts discourse was a tough discourse for last year's Super Bowl run into this year. So there's the additional layer of that where it's this is frustrating to watch as a fan, and it's also really hard to talk about from who's at fault, is this viable, is this not viable, can this work, can this not work, so on and so forth. The real thing is just you've seen so many offenses change and so many quarterbacks change over the course of a season, and while Jalen does a good job, I think Jalen always improves year over year. They were really stuck in the mud just in this season, right? They walked out with something in week 2, and it was the same issue they were having in week 15. And that to me is more of a referendum on coaching than it is on player, but that is atypical and not characteristic of Jalen. That was frustrating to watch.
And so it does set up a nice natural experiment this season where I think we do feel like the Jalen Hurts offense
there is only so much you can change about it.
Yep.
But this season, with obviously clearly coaches with a different background, you're going to see like, okay, how much can you change a Jalen Hurts offense, right?
Yes, and I think you can change it more than people are realizing and anticipating.
Tell us about that.
Because I think oftentimes we trick ourselves into thinking that offensive coordinating is just like sitting at like a box with 5 dials and it's just turning the under center dial up and down and trying to the play action dial. When in reality, like there's a lot of
well, to be fair, it did kind of feel like that's how they operated this year.
Yes, and at times,
and they could only turn one dial every week.
And that's why I say from the outside, we reduce it to that. You would hope on the inside maybe it doesn't get reduced to that. But when you bring in different guys from different systems and different voices, okay, maybe we're going to still be a very heavy shotgun team and we're going to throw a lot of these stop routes and a lot of these vertical routes, but we're going to change the way we think about the coverages and we're going to change the speed at which we execute it. There's a lot more like shades of gray and details and slight adjustments in coaching that can make a quarterback's, overall numbers in true media look quite similar, but the actual performance and the success be a lot different, right? That's why, again, talking about how we talk about quarterbacks nationally, sometimes it's very hard to be like, quarterback big numbers, quarterback many touchdown, but bad. There's so many different ways to skin a cat in the NFL. And so the hope is with Mannion and with Grizzard and with Sirianni and with new voices in the room, the Eagles can still work within Jalen Hurts' preferred offense, but execute better kind of in that structure.
And what does that look like for you?
Yeah.
That is like the golden question. If you could pick out the things that Sean Mannion can bring to this Eagles offense, what are some of the things you think can get the most out of Jalen Hurts?
So people talk about the under center, people talk about the intermediate middle of the field. The number one thing is the movement. You do not want you lived in a world where Jalen could just operate in the pocket for 3.5 seconds because the offensive line was elite, and then you discovered this year that you just don't get to print that every single season. Yeah. Stoutland and that front office have done an amazing job in general, but we're in the Tyler Steen era now. We're in the Lane Johnson's 35 era now. It's just not going to be the same. So we have to manually move the pocket. We have to be more willing to move the ball by design. And then 2, we need Jalen to be more willing to leave the pocket and more willing to throw when he does leave the pocket. Jalen is a good mover. He's got that thick running back build. He doesn't like to throw on the run. He's not very loose. And we have to be able to access that more. That also gives us a lot more easy completions. When you watch the Super Bowl on Sunday, you're going to see Clint Kubiak take Sam Darnold and roll him out and sprint him out in the intent to get him in rhythm, right? It's how you get the guy moving a little bit. And the Eagles were just constantly 1 step from the gun, 3 step from the gun, and certainly our tackles will hold up. And that's just not... That was NFL football. That's never NFL football. It was Eagles football for the last 5 years, absurdly so, but it's not how it works in the NFL.
And do you think that in an offense that could potentially be without A.J. Brown, there is enough from what you understand of the mystery man of Sean Mannion and add a little Josh Grizzard in there that they can do those kinds of things?
Yes, but I don't think there's a lot of coordinators and offensive minds in the world that could go Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson, and
he's a free agent too, so he's gone.
And Grant Calcaterra, right? Because obviously Goddard's coming up as well, and say we can make a really good.
We forgot about Darius Cooper, who's a stud, but
the GOAT. Britton Covey obviously going to get back activated.
Which one of you guys is the bigger Tanner McKee head here? I feel like we
need.
I don't know.
Me.
I don't know.
I invented the guy.
I personally, I have 2023 tweets of Tanner McKee in preseason.
2023, get out of town. Please. A week into to training camp, he was my guy. As a rookie.
Yeah, I cover the draft, right? And that's before training camp.
It doesn't matter. I got eyes on him.
Love McKee. McKee's the GOAT. But...
So what would you trade Jalen for then?
Yeah. But that's the funny thing is anytime I would ever say anything about Jalen, people would always hit me and be like, "Oh, well, you just want to see McKee start." And I'd be like, "Yeah, I do," mostly from an entertainment factor. Yeah. But yes, if AJ's out and Dallas is out, they've been such a dense team in terms of target distribution in the league with those 3 guys. You just need more than warm bodies to take those reps. You need actually, legitimate players here. And so you can be really excited about Mannion and Grizzard, but if this ends with, kind of a noxious A.J. Brown departure and also they don't bring Goddard back on the money, there's nobody who's really solving that lack of pass catcher problems for you. So that's a Howie issue for March and for April.
Has this been cathartic for you talking about the Eagles? I feel like you must need outlets to vent about this team sometimes.
It's like I would say 3 out of every 4 games I watch them and I feel very much so oh man, I'm not a fan and this is my job and I just don't enjoy this the way I used to, and I also don't go with the ups and downs the way I used to, right? Jordan Davis returns that field goal against the Rams and I was kind of man, that's crazy. I don't live it the same way I used to live it. And then every so often a game will hit where the offense, the Giants Thursday night game, I was oh my God, I'm a fan again. I was furious the whole game watching it. And so it hits me in spurts and fits and starts. So I don't think I need the catharsis, but then all of a sudden, I'll need the catharsis.
Yeah. How much do you attribute your career success to leaving Shield behind?
Not only would I say very little, I would say that in the 2 years since I've left Shield, I've turned to Shield and asked him a lot of questions, got a lot of help from him because Shield's just that caliber of a guy. I know you don't know a lot about that.
What a no-sell. This is unbelievable.
Yeah. But no, zero. If anything, negative from leaving Shield behind.
And you, EJ?
I mean, listen, there's only one person on here that is going to hate on Shield Kapadia, and it is not going to be me. I owe a lot to Shield.
All right. Any final Eagles thoughts that you just want to get off your chest before we let you go?
I've got one more for Ben too.
What's that?
You were the only guy I heard that was pro Jim Bob Cooter from a schematic standpoint, not from a content standpoint. I have to ask you why.
Jim Bob's good at his job. The 2014-2015 Stafford years in Detroit were quite good. He coached exactly what that offense needed. I've been lucky to go to and talk to the Colts staff a couple of times because I live close to them, and that locker room and that staff feels very strongly about Jim Bob in terms of the value that he brings. Long lexicon, long Rolodex of NFL offenses. Yeah, he runs tried and true stuff. No, he's not turning the big Sean McVay dials. Ooh, look at the motion. Look at the under center. But in terms of, again, talking about guys who could get Jalen's head in a little bit of a better spot for executing what Jalen does best, I thought Jim Bob Cooter was a likable guy.
Just be careful when you're talking about turning dials with the Cooter.
Jim Bob Cooter, also great name, awesome name, man. You just love to root for a Jim Bob Cooter.
All right. Ben Solak of ESPN, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, man.
We will we'll catch up with you later.
Yeah.
Next, let's talk about Monarch. You will feel organized and confident in your finances with Monarch, an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop or phone. Whether you're switching jobs like me, with past retirement accounts to monitor, or you're just trying to simplify checking your portfolio, Monarch has been perfect to keep an eye on all my finances in one place, and I think it can be that for you as well. It can be so time-consuming checking a handful of different apps. Monarch can be the perfect solution. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Don't leave money on the table. This new year, achieve your financial goals for good. Monarch is the all-in-one tool that makes proactive money management simple all year long. Use code PHLY at monarch.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off, 50 off your first year at monarch.com with code PHLY.
So we all remember the big Snowmageddon weekend last weekend, and everybody's racing to the supermarket to get their food. How are they gonna make sure that they feed everybody in the house during the snow? Well, you know what I did? I just reached into the freezer, pulled out my Omaha Steaks, and I made it happen, because Omaha Steaks is the only place that's sending all across the country high quality meat that can keep you satisfied and delicious. Stay satisfied, get energy, and fuel your routine with premium prepackaged protein delivered to your door from Omaha Steaks. From handcrafted USDA-certified tender steaks to gourmet burgers, versatile chicken and pork, and more, they have unmatched variety of high-quality proteins that everybody loves. I cooked up some steaks, little bacon-wrapped Delmonico's, made the whole family happy. And right now, you can taste the difference and get an extra $35 off at omahasteaks.com with promo code EAGLES at checkout.
PHLY Eagles podcast with my buddy EJ Smith.
You're down to one wife.
Do you feel like we've gotten closer this week?
I think we've always been close. I would say maybe a little closer. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I enjoy spending time with you, Bo.
Me too.
I don't know.
I don't know what's wrong with you.
I mean, I probably say that a lot, but no. I mean, listen. This is the highlight of my
Doing
day.
the show is the best part of the job.
Absolutely. Yeah. There are other good parts.
Yeah, it's a fun day here. Remember, please donate to Big Brothers Big Sisters, and also remember that we've got a great 60% off sale going for Super Bowl week on Diehards. Now, because we gave you so much content there, just content back to back with no commercial break, that means we're about to send you to another commercial break. We'll be back with more. EJ has some interesting thoughts on Jalen Hurts that he wants to get off his chest. Will we be naked when we come back? Stay tuned to find out. Bet365 has 90 million users worldwide, and they live stream over 780,000 events each year with early payout offers across the NBA and NHL. Bet365 pioneered live in-game betting, and today they offer the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports. There's only one football game left this season, but you need to go to Bet365 if you want to take advantage of the early payout offer where your team is a winner If they're up by 17 points, whether they win or lose, you get the instant payout. Last NFL season, both money lines were paid out 4 times because of the early payout and the end result of the game. We saw this happen with the Eagles this season. So here's what you need to know. New customers now get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the code PHLY365, deposit $10, and place a bet for $5 to get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. A lot changes in 5 years. 5 years ago, who was even in the Super Bowl? Don't remember. Doesn't matter. So much has changed. The Eagles have a new coach. They've been to the Super Bowl twice. A lot changes. That's why you want to lock in a good deal when you can get it. And that's where Xfinity comes in. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. We're talking super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense that lets you stream the game even when the whole family is online. Gets all your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And the best part is no annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment included. So lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Lock in that 5-year price guarantee with Xfinity. Back on the PHLY Eagles podcast, Bo Wulf and EJ Smith hanging out. We got another 10 minutes or so here, EJ. What do you want to get off your chest about Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, so I've been on some fact-finding missions the last couple of days. First and foremost, I wanted to say that one of the most encouraging things that I think I've heard, I mean, we've heard a lot of good things about Sean Mannion, but one of the most encouraging things I think we've heard was what Nate Tice had to say about his background being in systems that are linked to what got the best out of Jalen Hurts. The Shane Steichen, Air Coryell influence systems. And again, like I love hearing Nate talk about the foundations of some of these different offensive systems. To me, that is probably the most encouraging thing because I think we've spent so much time focused on the projection of Jalen Hurts in a McVay, Shanahan influenced offense, but to hear that there are some connections to things that we know Jalen does well, I thought that was really encouraging. So that was the first thing.
Okay.
I want to hear what your thoughts are on that first, and I've got a bigger one.
Yeah, I don't know that I feel like the Steichen-ish background is the most encouraging thing I've heard.
I think it's like
but
you have to find a way to merge the two, right?
I do think it underscores what we talked about in the beginning with BG, is the importance of the quarterback's coach.
Yeah.
And listen, Greg Olsen maybe sounds a bit like retready, but this is a guy who has done it a lot. It sounds like that's like the likely hire.
Yeah.
And probably someone who is going to try to coach Jalen hard.
Yeah.
I don't know how that will go.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably a better result than something else you could have hoped for.
So that's a nice segue, especially if it is Olsen. I think,
and especially if it is first-time guy coming off 1 year as a first-time guy, to have an old head at that position makes sense.
So one of the things that has stood out to me in all the conversations I've had about Jalen, because I feel like I've been trying to drill down. We spend so much time trying to figure out, is it the coaching staff or is it the quarterback that really influences the way that the Eagles offense looked last year?
Yeah.
The scheme, the play sheet, how much of the play sheet they're using. And one of the things that I've sort of had reaffirmed to me over the last couple of days is like, Jalen is open to a lot of different things, but only if you can explain the why to him.
Yeah.
And I think whether you think that that's justified or not, I'm not here to tell you whether or not.
I'll tell you something. I can identify with that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can.
You want to tell me to do something? Tell me why.
But I also think from a coach's perspective, maybe that it can be frustrating. It's, we want to implement this, and then you have to prove to Jalen why you're going to implement it. So I understand.
I think there's a parenting lesson in there as well.
I understand it from both sides of it. I understand both perspectives, but I do think that it's not a non-starter with Jalen. It's not like no matter what you say about it, he's not going to be open to a different system. I think that, it's Sean Mannion, I think it's Josh Grizzard. If it is somebody like Greg Olsen, the why is going to be what's most important in getting Jalen to do things that we haven't seen him do, whether it's throwing over the middle of the field. He was more comfortable with under center this year.
Yeah.
Some of the schematic things that we would like to see from the Eagles offense, I think the question now becomes, can the coaching staff supply the Y for Jalen.
Do you think they can?
I mean, I don't know enough about
Yeah.
Sean Mannion. I mean, from what we've heard about Sean Mannion this week, I'm a lot more optimistic about the hire. You know, we've talked to so many people who have been around Sean Mannion. I do think that the characterization we had from the outset, that maybe he was a year away from being one of the most in-demand offensive coordinator candidates. I do think that, based off the conversations we've had here, that's the case.
And I will feel better about the staff in general if it goes the way we've talked about. I mean, like Greg Olson as quarterbacks coach,
Yeah.
it's a little bit like Clint Hurt as defensive line coach,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
It's a guy who at one point rose above that, but this is their real tried and true specialty. Yeah, I think you could feel encouraged about that group.
I am surprised to a certain extent how much leeway Sean Mannion has had to build out his staff. I think it's an encouraging sign.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been 100% confident that he would have hired, I mean, a good amount of position coaches when they made the hire.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see
I
how
think it's a good
it
sign,
continues
though.
to play out. I think so. I think it's a good process sign. Yeah.
If you wanted the Eagles offense to change, I think it's a good sign.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are your other just Radio Row takeaways here?
I've been having a good time.
No, I gotta give you credit. We talked about the coffee story with BG.
Yeah.
Impressive job by you last night, repurposing that shirt as an undershirt under a button down.
I'm a big button-down undershirt guy, and I had it three-quarters of the way buttoned. You couldn't see the stain.
That is resourcefulness. Is what that is.
I wore it to the media party. That was kind of. It was a little bit of a dud.
That was a dud, man.
We can just say that.
Oh man.
I mean, I don't like to complain about something like that. It's like a party that you get into, like pretty much no strings attached. There's free food and free drinks, but
Roger Goodell is cheapening out.
It was a nice
The
super
shuttles.
drive.
It was a nice
I mean,
super drive.
we got to ride with the guy who said he played professional soccer in Peru.
Yeah, that was cool, but we didn't find out until the very end of the ride.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed. It's been there's been enough soccer stuff sprinkled in the last couple of days.
You got to see a trophy around here.
The Champions League trophy is here. Aston Villa's name is on that trophy. For all the Arsenal fans watching, your name's not on that trophy. Your name's not on that trophy.
Wow.
I'm going to go take another selfie with it before we leave.
Have you seen? Are you sure it's still here?
I have enough pictures with it, but I want to get a picture of Aston Villa's name on the trophy with my reflection smiling in the background.
Okay.
And it's going to be it's a tall order, but I think I can accomplish
Let's
it.
play a little game of how many Eagles or ex-Eagles have you seen this week?
Not as many as you would think.
No, not a ton.
Yeah, we saw Donovan McNabb.
Donovan McNabb.
We saw Terrell Owens.
T.O. Oh, man. You want to talk about, the true, embarrassing, soul-sucking work of Media Week, where it's just
hey, can we just get 10 seconds from T.O.? Well, we just want to ask one question. Can we just get a minute? We'll walk and talk with him from thing to thing, please.
That's not shady, Ray. Yeah. That's not shady,
And
Ray.
so
That's
then we're trying to get
annoying, Ray.
hey, T.O., what do you think of AJ Brown? It's gives you a smile,
Yeah, I don't even know if it was a smile.
Yeah.
We tried. Who else have we seen?
Embarrassing stuff.
I don't think that might have been it for former Eagles.
Cooper DeJean.
Well, yeah, Cooper DeJean's a current Eagle.
Brandon
He's here.
Graham.
Brandon Graham.
Kevin Byard.
Yeah, we saw Kevin Byard. You're right. Yeah.
Chris Long.
Yeah, on BG Unblocked.
Bo Allen.
Yeah.
A.Q. Shipley over here.
Oh, yeah. I think we will see
That's 8.
Jordan Mailata at some point.
I think Nakobe Dean's going to be around.
I do,
potentially.
yeah.
I've heard Rodney McLeod
I've been
be
keeping
around.
an eye out for Jordan Mailata, and I said to somebody, I'm like, have you seen any 6'8", 370 pound
Mailata.
Australians? Anybody fit that description?
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there have been any other ex-Eagles. But I
You're
don't
better
know.
at these games than me.
Jordan Mailata. I don't know. I'm running out the clock here.
Did you have any Jalen takeaways from our conversations with Ben and Nate?
I mean, I truly know that this is so stupid, but I really liked watching him play with a smile on those Pro Bowl videos.
Threw it over the middle of the field?
Yeah, I want Jalen to have fun.
He did bail out of a pocket in a flag football game.
Yeah. Made a nice throw running to his left.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It was, I'll be honest, the Pro Bowl doesn't do a lot for me.
No. That's okay.
Yeah.
You didn't think Cam Jurgens was worth your time?
I mean, I don't know if it's not personal. It's the game. it's the game.
Very generous donations to Big Brothers Big Sisters.
thank
I
you,
see.
guys.
Thank you guys
Appreciate
so
that.
much. Thank you, Claire. Thank you, Anonymous. Very nice. And remember that we've got the nice sale going on for
Yeah,
Diehards
absolutely.
right now. If you want to join us in Bover time, it's not going to be long, but stay with us. All right, let's do it. Let's take our clothes off here in the middle of Radio Row and show everybody what we got.
Get us kicked out.
The full Monty. Yeah. Okay. What are you looking forward to the next 24 hours?
I'm looking forward to going out to dinner with some of my favorite people in the industry. So that's going to be really great. And yeah, I'm excited to come back here and keep trying to get these interviews.
Keep effing that chicken.
It is Bover time.
Well, an Ernie and Estes, wherever you are. Takes a tough man to make a tender forecast, Nick. That's all we got. So thank you to Brandon Graham.
Yeah, that was
Thank
great.
you to Nate Tice. Thank you to Ben Solak for joining us on the PHLY Eagles show today. Stay tuned to all of the PHLY channels. By the way, big news in the Sixers world with the Jared McCain trade. So check out what
they better not be done. They
Kyle
better not be
Neubeck
done.
and Derek Bodner have to say about that. I know that Bill and Charlie have been all over the Flyers news. So check out their show today. And stay tuned to all the PHLY channels. We're going to keep churning out content that might not be in the show, so check out all of that stuff. Check out the social media. Thank you to Ben for cranking on that stuff behind the scenes. Thank you to Lindsay over there. Don't laugh at Ben cranking it. It's a human thing for him to do. He's away from home. He's got a privacy of his own hotel room.
All right.
It's totally fine. That'll do it for this episode of the PHLY Eagles podcast. We will see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. And as always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.